welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to talk about some autistic traits that people don't necessarily always talk about that I experience. I've already done two videos, I believe, talking about some of these autistic traits. This is like the part three. So the first is internalized steams. In general, people talk about autistic people, neurodivergent people in general needing to steam. One of the things that we do is that we steam in ways that aren't seen. It's basically part of masking. Some of those internalized steams could be gritting your teeth or grinding your teeth. I don't grind my teeth so much as I grit my teeth. Like I hold a lot of tension in my jaw. It's just a way for me to handle things that are going on. A lot of noise, a lot of smells, a lot of dust. I become very tense. And the problem with this is it can be detrimental if you internalize your stim. So like if you find out that you're exhibiting stims that are internalized, then find a way to replace that stim with a different one that is more externalized but still may not call attention, because to be honest, it's not all of us who have the luxury of just being and not caring about what people will think because of work, because of school, because of whatever situations we may be in. I'm trying to work on that myself. Like I do this when I become tense. I rub my chest or I rub my stomach, especially when I'm in public, especially when I have to talk to somebody, especially when I'm not just talking to somebody, but I'm talking to somebody in authority, especially when that person is in authority is a not very nice person. I'm just going to put it that way. And they're the kinds of person who would shout at you for no reason. Who, when they talk, they just shout. And they like to be harsh. That's the way they like being. And they just, I just hang my hand. And when it becomes more tense, I try to maintain my tone, say only things that I need to say, respond in a respectful manner, remain calm. But my hand is here. And when it becomes even more and I still cannot leave their presence, then I rub my stomach a little bit. Nobody will know that I'm steaming. They just think that's the way I hang my hand. Many times they don't even observe it. It's only the observant people who can tell. Many times those observant people too might be, neurospicy sometimes. But no, people generally cannot tell. I'm telling people really cannot see except what they want to see. Many times people do not see beyond what they want to see, except if something is extremely obvious and is in their face, they really would not see. Okay, so you can externalize esteem and be subtle about it. The second thing is a checkered job history. And what I mean by checkered job history is a crazy job history. Now, depending on who you are and what your journey has been like, it could be that you've had lots of jobs that you've not been able to stick to. Like you just had a crazy amount of jobs. Like I've been hearing people talking about how they've had 16 jobs, how they've had 33 jobs, how they've had 50 jobs. That is insane. Why does one person have 50 jobs already and they're not even dead? They're not even like really old. They're like, I don't know, 50 or something, and they've got 50 jobs. Why does a person in their 20s have already gone through like 30 something jobs? Why? Right? Like that should tell you something. That should tell you something. And of course, it's not everybody. In my own case, I've not had a crazy amount of jobs. But even with the number of jobs I've had, I've never been able to stick a job for more than 3 months. And even those jobs that I was able to stick for close to that 3 months or 3 months at the most, they were part-time jobs. One of them started as a full-time job, and within a week, I was sick of it and I had to go back to my boss and I had to renegotiate. And I told them I need to make this a part-time job. So within a week, I needed to, because I was like, it's either this or I'm done. There are many things in different jobs that can cause that overwhelm and that exhaustion within just a very short period of time. In this case, it was that disorganization. I cannot live with disorganization. That's just one of the reasons people might not be able to stick to a job or might not be able to stick to jobs for a long period of time. There are many other reasons. There's bullying, there's just not being heard, there's having your ideas thrown away. There's a lot of things associated with jobs that aren't even part of the main job itself. That you've had a crazy amount of jobs, or you've had not a crazy amount of jobs, but whatever jobs you've been able to have, they've been maybe part-time or they've been for a very short period of time before you've had to extricate yourself. I've only been able to stick with one job for a very long period of time, for years I'm talking, and that has been online, and that has been a freelance job, and it has been kind of job where I could work whenever I wanted to work. I could abandon it for a period of time and then come back to it. Once you examine your job history and you see that this is crazy, this isn't normal, then it might be a sign that you are neurodivergent. Next I'm going to talk about is sleep disorders. Sleep disorders are just, let's just say, issues that have to do with sleep in general. It can range from insomnia, that is having trouble sleeping, or having trouble sleeping well or long enough or early enough, or waking up feeling refreshed. Because part of insomnia is sleeping but waking up more tired than you were when you went to sleep. It's in the case that you did not sleep well at all. Narcolepsy, some people have narcolepsy where, that's just a whole other thing. Some people, insomnia is very common. Another one that is common is even sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is actually quite common. And if you don't know what it is, then when you experience it, it's going to be very scary. We have all these superstitions in certain societies, especially in this awesome society, where they tell you it's a spirit, they tell you it's an evil spirit, they tell you it's a jinn, they tell you all sorts of things. Because when you experience sleep paralysis, it's like you cannot move. And then for a lot of people, they even hallucinate and they think they see entities. Sleep paralysis is basically when your mind is having problems transitioning from sleepfulness to wakefulness. Sometimes it's when you're going to sleep, you're in that space in between when you're still slightly awake and when you're falling asleep. Sometimes is when you've gone to sleep, you've already slept, and you're trying to come awake, and there's that space in between when you're still asleep and kind of awake, and your brain is having trouble transitioning. And so you want to move your legs, you cannot move your legs. You want to move your arms, you cannot move your arms. You want to speak, your mouth is not going to open for you to be able to speak. And you might feel as if there's a weight around you, like they're holding you down. Especially if you sleep on your back, it might be as if they're holding you down, they're choking you, they're holding you down, trying to prevent you from getting up. Sometimes actually it happens when you're lying on your side, because it happens to me when I'm lying on my side too. Some people, they hallucinate, which means they actually see an entity. Entity feels like that entity is holding them down, preventing them from being able to move or speak, and etc. etc. And again, it can be a scary experience, but if you know what's happening already, then it makes it less scary. And if you're religiously inclined, you can be saying a prayer in your mind. That's what I do. Just wait, basically just wait. Within a few seconds, maybe a few minutes, it will pass and you'll be able to move. That's basically the way sleep paralysis is. So I just wanted to give that little tutorial on sleep paralysis, so that if it happens to you in the future, you feel less anxious about it, and you will not go around thinking there are evil spirits around you. Nobody's after you, my dear. The next I'm going to talk about is having digestive issues / having allergies / having autoimmune diseases. So for a lot of autistic people, for a lot of neurodivergent people, we tend to have these things in common. If you're a neurodivergent person, basically, then it's very likely that you will have something. You will have an autoimmune condition, or you will have allergies, or you will have digestive issues of some sort. I usually have like allergies in general. And once you know what your allergies are, then it's going to be easier for you to handle them. The allergies will act up when you're under stress. So you'll know, okay, it's because I'm under stress that allergies are coming up. Same thing with the digestive issues as well. Like I'm currently going through, I probably should not be saying this, but whatever. I'm currently struggling through a patch of one of those digestive issues, and it has been a pain for the last 3 days now. And I'm hoping it has just gone, because I'm so over it. I know it has to do with not just stress, but hormonal fluctuations. It's just one of those things. But yeah, it's a big headache. It's a big pain. Another trait of autism or of neurodivergence, but particularly autism, is that people think you're blunt. People think you sound blunt, or that your tone is almost as if you have a monotone type of voice when you speak, or that you're lecturing. People think you are harsh. For me, I hear all the time that I'm blunt or that I'm harsh. And it can be very frustrating sometimes, because you cannot hear your tone. You cannot hear yourself. Obviously, you can hear yourself, but you cannot hear what it is. You cannot hear the quality in your tone or in your voice that makes it sound blunt or that makes it sound harsh. Always try to figure out what it is about my tone. But also, one of the things I do, and I think I might have mentioned this before, one of the things I do is to make sure I take a breath and I speak slowly before I begin to speak. I remind myself, you don't want to sound blunt, you don't want to sound harsh. So I hedge a little bit when I speak, which can be a big headache. I try to speak slowly when I'm speaking to people. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I forget. Sometimes while I'm speaking, I become passionate about what I'm talking about, and then I begin to speak really fast. And then that ruins the entire effect, right? And I speak really fast, and to me, it's normal. To other people, it's very fast. And I think that that's one of the things that makes it sound harsh or blunt. So those are just some of the things I do. And I've spoken many times, people asking me, are you angry? I'm not angry. Why is everybody asking me if I'm angry? You ask me a question, I'm explaining something to you. What am I doing that is making you think but there's something in my tone that makes it seem as if I'm angry. And the final trait I'm going to talk about in this video is the resting autism face. I don't want to use the resting B face. I'm going to say it's the resting autism face. You'll have lots of people coming to tell you that why do you look angry? You'll have lots of people, nosy people coming to tell you why can't you ever smile? You'll have people coming to tell you all sorts of things. And it's because you're sitting there, you're not in touch with your body, so you don't know how your face looks. You might be feeling something inside, that feeling doesn't show on your face. You might be sitting there thinking there's a look on your face, but there's a different look on your face entirely. You might be thinking you're smiling widely while outwardly you're not even, like, people cannot see you smiling at all. I think it makes them feel intimidated because we have this energy that is intense anyway. We have an intense energy, and that intense energy is intimidating to people. And so they might, even people who are older than you, people who are like you, generally people who intimidate you feel intimidated by you. That's just the way I'm going to put it. Even people who intimidate you feel intimidated by you, and that's a crazy concept to understand. It's just one of those things that I've just come to accept. I cannot do much about it. Same thing with the tone. I cannot do much about it. I'm going to do my best to try to make people comfortable, but I've just accepted it. One time somebody just came to attack me, and they were like, "You can never ever smile. Why don't you ever smile?" Something like that. And I was sitting there. I think we were in the lab. My mind was like a million miles away. I was thinking of a bunch of other things. I don't remember what I was thinking about because my mind was flying from one place to another. But I was sitting there and they think you're present, right? And this person just came to attack me like that. And it was so harsh. And the problem is that it brought me out of my musings in a very harsh, very just stressful manner. Like, it caused me a lot of stress, the way he just spoke to me. And in my mind, I was like, what the heck does this person think he's talking to me like this? And so I responded to him too in a very harsh manner. I was like, can't you just mind your own business? Like, why don't you ever mind your own business? Something like that. And I was a very shy person at the time. So it was quite odd for me to talk like that. So I think that person knew that they had offended me and they began to apologize and whatever. But I was still very angry. That's one of the problems with dealing with people. I'm going to just say here, people who isolate themselves, who go live in a cave somewhere or who go live like in the woods, and they just decide to buy a land somewhere in the bush and build a house somewhere in the bush beside a lake or a river somewhere where they can go and just sit down and watch the water and just watch ducks on the water and watch water lilies on the water as their pastime, and just go into town once in a while when they need to for shopping or doctor's visits or whatever. Like, honestly, I get it. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I really get it. I really, really get it. And I know that there's some people who talk about how it's good for you to live with people, da. Okay, yeah, you're correct. But I just want to say, I get it. I really do. Okay, I'm going to stop here for today. Thank you so much for sticking till the end of this video. I appreciate you being here. And I appreciate it even more if you have subscribed or if you're planning to subscribe. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and let me know if there's something you'd like me to talk about. And I would be more than willing to accommodate you. See ya.